Northwest Liberty News, picking the lock on the shackles of tyranny.
Machines are gonna fail, and the system's gonna fail.
The past is past, the future's now.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Sometimes trouble just follows a man.
There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus.
Can't you stop your lips from flapping for 2 little minutes?
It's because I'm white.
I'm a man. I'm sensitive. I need to feel loved. I need to be desired.
I'm rapidly becoming a big underground success in this town.
It's a question of methods. Everybody wants results, but nobody wants to do what they have to do to get them done.
And now, coming to you live from Kalispell, Montana, brought to you by Northwest Liberty News, it's Montana Gazette Radio with your host, James White. Okay, so I'm indeed your host, James White. This is Montana Gazette Radio. Thanks so much for joining me here today on this 7th day of July 2021. We are coming to you live here from Kalispell, Montana, the last best place on earth, as they say. Looks like it's going to be a decent day today. It's been very hot around here, and it's been very hot in the studio here the last couple of days, working on this banking fraud article that we'll be publishing at 1 p.m. today. We'll be publishing it again at 1 p.m. on Montana Gazette Radio. I wanted to come on this broadcast here to give the viewers and the listeners a preview of the article that's coming up. Some of the evidence that we've compiled over the last 2 years. This has been an ongoing investigation by Northwest Liberty News / Montana Gazette Radio, and it is pretty damning, especially when you look at the testimony of the experts, really. And I don't know, folks. I'm going to just report it, and you make your own decision. But it's a sad situation here with the Whitefish Credit Union and what they're doing to these folks. So I'm going to pop on over here first of all to the article here and take a look at it. Again, this is not going to be released until about 1 p.m. But I wanted to go over just briefly go over it with you and show some of the documentation again that we have available. Just as start of this, just to let you know, Attorney General Austin Knudsen has all this information as well. He has investigators looking into it as we speak, currently right now, and we'll see what happens. I don't want to certainly speak for the Attorney General, but we'll see what happens with that. But let's pop on over here, if we can, to this screen right here. Here's the headline. This could be changed, but basically this is the working headline. Breaking evidence proves largest credit union in Montana assets strip member properties for up to $500 million. And folks, we have multiple people that have come, that we have spoken to, that have provided evidence that is involved in being disenfranchised, or it looks like their property's been outright stolen. It's called asset stripping. I mean, this is the term, that it's called asset stripping. They strip people's assets. They find the assets that are valuable, and they in a very sophisticated manner. And it's not just them. They of course have cooperation of many people in the county that help them with this, and it's criminal. There's no other way to put it. And everybody thinks so who reviews it. And you'll see in the article comes up, we've interviewed Derek Skis, was just in here a couple of days ago talking about it. He has reviewed all the information. So has Mark Blaisdell, and so has Mark Nolan, who's a representative, Representative Skis and Representative Nolan, and Senator Blaisdell are all familiar with this case. They've all seen the evidence, and they have turned it over after they reviewed everything. They have met with the Attorney General to help Dennis Thornton get his property back that was taken from him wrongfully. So let's get back over here to the article. After an almost 2-year investigation started by Northwest Liberty News, Montana Daily Gazette, in the following article will expose the systematic, organized, and illegal theft of well over $100 million, and in some estimates over $500 million in properties from borrowers and members of a Northwest Montana lender named Whitefish Credit Union. An important point needs to be highlighted before we begin exposing the colossal bank fraud perpetrated by Whitefish Credit Union. Every single person who looked at the evidence we gathered proving property theft by Whitefish Credit Union removed their funds and closed their accounts with Whitefish Credit Union. No exceptions. Every single person, without exception, when we showed the information that we have here to them, they closed their accounts out because crimes have occurred. There's no denying it. We're going to just go a little bit further here, and we'll just let the evidence speak for itself. Don't believe me. We have the goods, as they say. So let's bump down here if we can to the report of Mr. Alan Carver. Now here's an important point to note before I give you this report here from Alan Carver. And my little switcher thing is not working properly here, so I'm having to manually change this. I'm a little bit slow on the uptake here. Usually I hit a button and it changes, but not the case today. So we're going to look at this was a sealed. This report has been sealed. It was sent to me by a source, and I have unsealed it, and I'm putting the contents here. I put the contents in the article. This is a report from Alan Carver, who has a 34-year career with the National Credit Union Association. Of course, that's the association that overlooks all of the credit unions in the United States. He's a regional director. He's been with them. I think he's been 48 years, I believe, and we'll see here in a minute. I think 48 years working as in the National Credit Union Association and as a private consultant. So this is the resume of this guy, and you will see his full resume when you go to the article. Again, it'll be published at 1 p.m. You go to the article. You go to the article, and you will see the resume from Alan Carver there on the page, and you can just link right on it, and it'll go right to his right to the report. Again, this is the report that they did not allow to be revealed, and you'll see in a minute why they didn't allow it to be revealed. And to this day, right now, Dennis Thornton does not have his property worth over $100 million that is not in his possession because of these kind of shenanigans. So let's take a look at the report here. Again, I'll manually click over. So you can look up Alan Carver when it's published. But basically, let me read this here from this. This is a very very telling portion of the report. According to call reports filed with the National Credit Union Association of September 30, 2013, Whitefish Credit Union was reported to be Montana's largest credit union with 56,527 members, assets of $1.2 billion, and a branching structure of 6 offices. It is believed that Whitefish is one of the 250 largest credit unions in the United States. Those same call reports showed that Whitefish Credit Union engaged in potentially high-risk member business loan activities that increased dramatically from $63 million as of March 31st, 2003 to $317,320,000 plus as of March 31st, 2009. Carver goes on further regarding Kenyon, and Kenyon is James Kenyon is the now CEO of the corporation. Carver goes on further regarding Kenyon. Charlie Abel, Whitefish's longtime chief executive officer, resigned and was replaced by Jim Kenyon in September 2009. When Whitefish's board of directors hired Mr. Kenyon, they mandated that he, quote-unquote, take care of problems with loans, delinquent loans, but especially development type or commercial loans. The board enacted a policy in 2009 of not loaning any more money on development loans until circumstances were worked out that were causing a problem. And I emphasize this bold emphasis is mine. It was disclosed that newly hired CEO Kenyon perhaps went beyond the board's policy and said that there was a new policy adopted by him and followed by the credit union regarding this no new lending on ongoing development loans. Carver continues. It is important to note that borrowers with member business loans were not notified by Whitefish Credit Union that they would not be loaning any more money on development loans, including existing loans. Now here's the summary. In summary, it is my professional opinion, based on my 48 years in the credit union industry, 33 years as a regulator, and 15 years as a consultant, that Whitefish Credit Union clearly committed and violated not only a verbal agreement to finance the entire Thornton project to a total of approximately $7 million, but also committed a breach of a written contract involving the loaning of $500,000 and the subordination of their lien. This comes from Alan Carver, again, 48 years in the credit union business, states in his summary that Whitefish Credit Union clearly committed and violated not only a verbal agreement to finance the entire Thornton project to a total of approximately $7 million, but also committed a breach of a written contract involving the loaning of $500,000 and subordination of their lien. Now you might say, hey, what about the Montana Banking Commission? Oh yeah, the Montana Banking Commission did get this in front of them, and they launched an investigation. You know what they did? They called Whitefish Credit Union and they said, no, we didn't do any of this stuff. Oh, okay, good enough for us. Basically, there's some other details that surround that, but not many. Basically, Montana Banking Commission called up the Whitefish Credit Union. No, this is all not here. None of this is true. Okay, hey, good enough for us. Hey, thanks a lot. Have a good day. See you Sunday when we golf together. But one of those type of things, right? I mean, the Banking Commission is aware of this. Everybody's aware of this. Everybody they went before. There's $17 million that was lost. That's another follow-up report that we're going to be producing here, part 2 or 3 or who knows how many we're going to publish. But the state of Montana, this was all done by a certified auditing firm. The state of Montana has lost over $17 million in revenue because of this land theft. So while you're struggling to pay your taxes, understand that there's $17 million of revenue that could be captured and much more. That's just on Dennis Thornton's property. There's many people that have come forward, right? These people have signed affidavits about what's happened to them. This is an organized, this is a RICO. This needs to be a RICO investigation, in my view. I'm not a police officer, but it's not good. Okay, so let's go back here to this final report here from the banking regulator here, the Carver, who did, he's a regulator for 34 years. Here's one of his final statements. No doubt their handling of this issue created unnecessary financial hardship for impacted borrowers, such as the Thorntons, their employees, and the inability of these borrowers to enjoy the profits that a full completed development would have provided. Now, is there any surprise now why the judge blocked this report from being put out? Why they put a gag order on it, I guess, or a protective order on it? Are you surprised? No, because they don't want this to come out. It's a club, folks. It's a club, and you and I are not in it. You and I are not in it. Bank executives are in it. Judges are in it. Prosecutors are in it, right? Billionaires are in it. We're not in it. We're not in it. Most of the people watching this are not in it. No, we're the milk cows. We're the victims. That's what we are. I'm not playing victim mentality, but that's how this Dennis Thornton's a victim. And all these people that have come to me and talked to me and provided evidence to me, it's not just this, right? We've had forensic bank examiners with impeccable creds looking into this. This has been going on for 2 years, folks. 2 years. The FBI is aware of it. The Montana Attorney General is aware of it. The Banking Commission is aware of it. Several legislators are aware of it. And now it's time for you to be aware of it. Because if you're a member of Whitefish Credit Union, understand, the credit union is owned by its members. It's owned by its members. If they're doing these things in the name of the credit union, they're doing them in your name as well, if you're a member. So let's move on a little bit here to the private investigator that was hired by Dennis Thornton, Rick Hawk, who spent 15 years at the Flathead County Sheriff's Department before going into private practice. And you can read these. You can see the video with Rick when we publish the article here at 1 p.m. Again, 1 p.m. we're going to publish the article. You can see the interviews. Here's Rick Hawk here, private investigator, and published a full report that you can see here. Again, you'll be able to see the report when we publish the article. It's very extensive, very thorough. And here's a little quip from the interview I did with Rick. And this is him. This is Rick's quote. I think we can show that Whitefish Credit Union engaged in a deliberate, planned, systematic effort to obtain properties that they had loans against, and certainly was, in my opinion, unethical and in others' opinions, illegal. Rick Hawk, private investigator. And again, you can see his full report. And then Derek Skees came into the studio here just a few days ago to talk about this issue because he has done a lot of work on it. He's looked into it extensively. He is trying to get justice for Dennis Thornton and all the other people that were disenfranchised. He came in here, and you can see his interview in the document, or in the when I published the post at 1 p.m. You can see that. You can see Dennis Thornton, the man himself who's been victimized. Thornton, a lifetime Montana citizen who enjoyed an impeccable reputation and a top-tier credit rating before being victimized by Whitefish Credit Union, joined me on Montana Gazette Radio to tell his side of the story. And then we're finishing up here with Randy Mitchell, who I've covered a couple of years ago. This is one of the first interviews I ever completed or produced with victims here of bank fraud. I didn't even realize, again, as I say here, I didn't realize how large and how vast and how many people have been victimized. When I had Randy Mitchell and Tony Mitchell here in my offices, right here in this very office back behind me here where this backdrop is, I had him here in the studio, and I didn't realize at that point how vast and what we're looking at just from basic addition numbers, from what we know. We could have a theft of over $500 million in property and tax liabilities, taxes lost by the state of Montana, upwards of 60 and $70 million of tax revenue lost by the state of Montana because of the shenanigans that we've uncovered. Again, these are real people. These are real people who have real cases, right? What happens how can you possibly get a fair trial when they seal the document, the very document from the 48-year credit union expert who's testifying about a credit union? I dare to say there's probably people, maybe someone's worked there 49 years or maybe 50. I don't know. There may be somebody that's worked a little bit longer, been in a little bit longer than this guy. Maybe. 48 years in the credit union industry. His testimony is not considered valid? You block it off? No. You know why you block it off? Because it tells the truth, right? And again, it's a club. It's a club. You're not in it. Dennis Thornton's not in the club. Randy Mitchell's not in the club. Not club members. You don't get club benefits like property theft. One of the many club benefits. Just look at the deposition. I published all the depositions when the article will be published. If you just scan through the links, there is just a voluminous amount of information there, right? Including all the depositions that were taken, the court document that showed this case. You see the stamp. It was dismissed with prejudice. Dismissed with prejudice means it's done. Not be brought up anymore. Nope. That wasn't followed by the credit union. Wasn't followed by them. They just blatantly violated their agreement that they had. And you saw what Carver said. I mean, this is him, not me. Here is the end part of the document or the article. Here's the numbers here. If you want to give the CEO a call at Whitefish, 406-862-3525. We also have the number of you can call the County Attorney Travis Honors Administrator by calling 406-758-5641. If you want to just file a complaint with Austin Knutson, who's aware of what's going on, you can go to the Office of Consumer Protection in Montana, Department of Justice, montana.gov. You can go there, and you can go right. You'll look just like this. All you have to do is type in Office of Consumer Protection, Montana. And after you get past the dumb ads, the first link is this. And you can see how quick links, look how easy it is. File a scam report, identity theft, complaints against a business, prior complaints. So this is where you want to be right here. Scam alerts and consumer alerts. If you think you've been scammed by your bank, if you had your place foreclosed on, or the bank made promises to you and then decided not to continue, or made verbal commitments to you, or even like they did here in Dennis Thornton's case, according to Mr. Carver, where they violated a written contract. If you think they've done those things to you, go here to the Montana Consumer Report, or the Office of Consumer Protection. Sorry about that. Office of Consumer Protection in Montana. Visit that web page and file your report. That's the only way that we're going to alert people and like sort of light a fire or let people know, wow, we didn't really know it was this bad. If you think you've been disenfranchised, and believe me, this is just one little group of people that I've been able to come in contact with, and there are many here, just around here. I got to believe all over the state this is happening. This is just do it here in the Flathead. They're just not going to do it here and not do it everywhere else. No, this is a nationwide thing. It's called asset stripping. Asset stripping. Remember that word, asset stripping. That's what they do. So it's called asset stripping. And that's what they've been doing to people here in Flathead Valley and around, all around. All right, so let's go over here really quick to Mr. Carver. You can see this when we publish the article. You can see well, before we do this, let's take a quick commercial break. We're going to give our friends over at the corner shop some love. Dan Corn and those guys over there do great work, and they're so good to support me. So let me take a quick commercial break and come back. We'll look over the Alan Carver report, and then we'll look at Rick Hawks, the private investigator's report, and then we'll go ahead and end the show. But 1 p.m., all this information is going to be released. There's a voluminous amount of documentation included with it. You'll have access to all that. You'll have access to these reports, both reports by Mr. Carver and the private investigator. You'll see the video interviews. You'll have it all. We'll be back after these brief messages here on Montana Gazette Radio, MontanaGazetteRadio.com, MontanaGazetteRadio.com, MontanaDailyGazette.com. I'm your host, James White. Be back after these brief messages. If you like classic cars, exceptional service, and a money-back guarantee, then the Corner Shop in beautiful downtown Kalispell is the place for you. Whether it's an oil change, engine diagnostic, suspension work, or brakes all around, the Corner Shop has you covered. With expert technicians and a free consultation on all services, you can't go wrong with the Corner Shop. Did I mention the classic cars? While you're waiting for your expert service to be performed, take a stroll through the showroom to see Kalispell's smoothest collection of classic cars. The Corner Shop is conveniently located at 1212 South Main, just south of the courthouse. The Corner Shop is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m., so drop by for an appointment or call 755-7777. That's 755-7777. The Corner Shop, Kalispell's full-service auto repair facility. Okay, again, if you're in the Montana area, here in this Kalispell area, I should say, and you need some auto repairs and oil change, that type of thing, go check them out over at the Corner Shop. Dan Corn and his fine staff over there. Great folks. Kathy at the front desk. To go in there and check out, if you don't need car repairs, just go check out all the cool old cars that he has there. I mean, he's got some real classics there, and he's a really good guy, and he's really been good to advertise with this program for quite some time now, and we're thankful for that. Again, thecornershop.net, thecornershop.net, and check them out. They're south of town. Okay, we're going to go back over here to the report by Alan Carver, and this was, again, folks, this was sealed. This is the first time this has been publicly displayed is today, and it will be in this article because it was sealed, a protections order or something. I don't know exactly what it was. It was basically sealed, so it couldn't be used. So Dennis Thornton couldn't use it, but we're gonna show it here right now. So this is from Alan Carver, resume, as I said about. He said earlier, 34-year career, National Credit Union. He's been on the NCUA task force director. He's got just a impeccable resume. The stuff that he's done, I mean, his awards, his education. He's handled numerous cases, and some of this stuff is covered here. But as you go down further and further here, you can see, it's just goes more about him until we get down to here. What is it? Page 6 or 7. Anyway, this goes through and explains everything, and this will be available for your review. This whole entire article, here's the whole entire document, I should say, on the article that will be released at 1 p.m. today. And you can find it on MontanaDailyGazette.com, MontanaDailyGazette.com. And in the report here, if I remember correctly from reviewing it yesterday, it's even got some quotes by James Kenyon, who is the CEO, about how much he really likes the property up there that Dennis Thornton had, that he should still have, but he doesn't any longer. But if you read through this document here, you'll see some of the things that were stated and found out by the investigator. Again, this was not allowed to be released. This is not allowed to be released in open court. So this is nowhere on the record. This that particular document right there from Alan Carver is nowhere on the record except here on this broadcast, and it will be on the record on Montana Daily Gazette when this article gets published here in just a couple hours, 2.5 hours from now. We're just waiting now. Really, the article's pretty much ready to go, but we're waiting for one final edit and review. What we always try to do here, if we can, is have other people's, and if you do any writing, you'll understand. It's really, sometimes it's not always the best thing to do is to edit your own work, because the stuff that you're in your blind spots, you seem to continue to have them over and over again. So it's always good to have somebody outside that doesn't have those same blind spots, if you will, to look at that and make the corrections. So that's what we're really waiting for. But everything else is pretty much ready to go. The videos are all loaded, ready to go. The documents have already been linked and ready to go. The one document is huge. The report from Rick Hawk is 384 pages, because it has a lot of complementary documents with it. That's a huge, massive document. Couldn't even fit it on our server. So this is linked on a cloud drive, so you have to log in to be able to see this when you actually get to the article. But we'll go to it right now. And again, it is huge. It's a huge 384 pages. But this is, here's the opening salvo. We believe that the facts below will confirm a conspiracy to defraud Thorco and the Thorntons. How do you like that? How do you like that standing out there? And there's some more of the people that were disenfranchised, shareholders. These are all real people. These are all real people right here that have been disenfranchised by this theft. And folks, when you look in when the documentation that's includes the Montana, all the documentation you're going to be, everything that you need will be in this article. It shows the statutes that were violated. It shows the Montana code that was violated. I mean, there's no doubt there's clear violation. This is not in dispute. The problem is no one will help Dennis Thornton and his shareholders and his family get their land back. That no one will help them do this. No matter what they do, they get blocked. They get handed off. Go here. Oh, that's a job for them. Oh, we're going to turn you over to them. We're going to turn you over to them. So the last one was they turned them over to the FBI. You can see the report here that was created, and you can see the very top. Let me go back here just to review. This was the report that was created for FBI agent Sean Hall. Okay, local FBI agent. I don't know Sean Hall. I'm assuming he's a local FBI guy here in the Flathead Valley. A year, almost a whole year they had the case. And what did they report to Dennis Thornton? Yeah, there's crimes here. There's crimes for sure. There's financial crimes, but they're state crimes. So really they can't do anything until the state does something. Okay, well, that puts you in a pretty, you'd think that aren't if you go in and if someone were to go in and rob a credit union, but gunpoint, with a mask on and all that, if someone went and did that, do you think the state police would show up? No, the feds would show up. The FBI would show up, because it doesn't matter if it's a credit union in your state. They're all kind of tied in with this national credit union, which is a federal thing, right? I think that's just I think the FBI took a powder. I think it's a state thing. I think that's just a convenient excuse not to want to do anything, if you want to know the truth. But if it's crimes that have been committed, then they should be prosecuted by every law enforcement agency that has jurisdiction. I think the feds would have jurisdiction over crimes committed at a credit union, one would think. But, again, I'm not an attorney, and I don't, all I'm doing is presenting the facts here and the statements by people that have done the investigations. And there is everybody, and folks, I'm telling you, everybody that looks at all of the preponderance of the evidence concludes the same thing. Yeah, you got your land stolen. Pretty much, except, of course, the club in Flathead Valley. They all think it's fine. No, he's just a bad guy. He didn't, it's all the lender's fault. If you listen to the club, that's what the club thinks. That's their mantra. That's all their fault. So if you're not in that little club in Flathead Valley, which obviously Dennis Thornton's not, then you're a target. That's that point. Really, how else can you describe it? That's how I would say it. If you're not in the club, you're a target. You're a target of the club. And if you have a property that's valuable enough, like Dennis Thornton's, that is, again, estimated at over $100 million, $100 million, then he doesn't have it anymore. It's gone. It's gone. They see something of value. If they want it, they'll do what they can to take it. I've done land issues before. I've covered land issues before, numerous land issues. Went down to Nevada and spent 3 weeks talking to landowners down there that had all their property taken from them. 19 ranchers I interviewed and published. Of course, it was taken down, off my YouTube channel for dangerous content. But anyway, so this is not something new for me. This is the theft of property is perhaps one of the largest white collar crimes that there is out there, and it happens daily. And it's a program, and they run the program. It's very sophisticated. They have multiple players involved to cover themselves that are involved in all different levels, and they all cash in on it. And it's like a big crime ring. It's like a big crime ring. Are you shocked? Are you shocked by that? Come on, you certainly can't be shocked. It's all a fraud. At any rate, these are real people that have had their lives, ruined in some cases, and their credit ruined certainly. But you can go through this document here when it's published, and you can read all this. You can read all the stuff, all of the investigations that were done by a licensed private investigator with 15 years experience at the sheriff's department. This guy is, this is not some guy that that said, hey, sitting on the corner, we'll work for food, and we say, hey, we'll give you a sandwich if you do this analysis for us. It's not one of those. This guy is a professional that's been working in the industry for years, and I shouldn't say law enforcement for years, 15 years at the sheriff's department. Private investigator looking into this. You can see his report here on Montana Daily Gazette when we release it at 1 p.m. Folks, that's really about all that I have right now. There is the evidence. When the article is published, the evidence will speak for itself. The evidence will speak for itself. I just barely scratched the surface of the voluminous amount of documentation that is going to be included in this article and linked to this article. And again, this is not all. As this investigation has been continuing on, and we've been talking to folks and getting more in-depth information, and this person knows this person, and this person knows this person, and you know how it goes. We're finding out that it's not just Whitefish Credit Union. There's other banks involved as well, which tells me, much like the child trafficking CPS, DPHHS organizations that I've covered all across the country, doesn't matter where you go, if it's Iowa, if it's Oklahoma, if it's Montana, if it's California, if it's Ohio, it doesn't matter. The system all works the same, how they extract the children from the parents and then sell them or traffic them. Not in every case, but in many cases. And they do it the same way over and over again in each state, right? Same type of situation here with this banking, this asset stripping. This isn't a one-off. This isn't a, oh man, we stumbled on something here that this is unique. No, it's not unique. No, it's not unique. It's systemic. It's systemic. Don't forget that. It's not unique. It's systemic. Please visit MontanaDailyGazette.com, MontanaDailyGazette.com at 1 p.m. to get the full article. It'll be published. Spread it far and wide. Get it around to everybody you know. This has to be exposed. So many lives have been ruined. And remember, they did it to the members. It was the members. So if you're a member, right, they'll do it to you. You get that nice, sweet piece of property? I'm telling you, folks, if you do it to other members, they'll do it to you. We got a list of them. We got a list of members that have been disenfranchised and abused and victimized. Thanks for joining us today. MontanaDailyGazette.com, MontanaDailyGazette.com, MontanaGazetteRadio.com. I do appreciate you looking in. Till next time, James White for Montana Gazette Radio. Saying bye now. Okay, how about now?